Hello humans of the world, I'm Dawn of the World. Welcome aboard. Just a heads up, this chapter review is going to feel a bit more rushed than some of my other ones. I'm very chased for time this week. I'm in my final year of my course at the film school that I'm studying at. And if I look like I'm sweating, it's because I am. I just ran down to the post office and now my pores will not stop perspiring. Now, anyway, let's get into the chapter. Now, what a great transitional chapter that was. Week by week, sometimes we get chapters where we focus almost entirely on the one scene. For example, Zoro and Sanji versus King and Queen, or Laura and Kid versus Big Mom. But this is an excellent example of one of those transitional chapters that is just all across the board, and as a result, it ends up feeling like multiple chapters in one. I love these sorts of chapters. I love seeing what everyone's up to. Let's get into it. So for starters, it's really cool to see Momo and Yamato becoming friends, or just vibing like this. They make a really, really good team. I would love to see more interactions with them in the future. Because when you think about it, we've got the child of Oden, we've got the child of Kaido, we've got these children of these sworn enemies who are really vibing. They're the same age technically. So through them we find out that as we know, Zunisha has shown up and is like, yo, I've come to fight by your side, which is really cool, but also it's kind of funny to think about because, Zunisha, you're a little big, mate. There is a clear weight advantage that Zunisha has here above literally everybody else combined, including Big Mom. It'll be interesting to see what role Zunisha plays in all of this. But anyway, from what we can see, Zunisha is too far off to really be properly seen or detected from Onigashima, but is still within Wano's waters, just behind the government ships. And I want everyone to take this moment to really think about what Zunisha would look like, because I never actually really did this before, now stopping and really thinking about it. Just in terms of scale, this is an elephant bigger than a mountain. It rises out of the ocean at a height that's the same as Mount Everest. You'd have to be standing a substantial distance from Onigashima to be like, that is an elephant. And what's more, most of the time you wouldn't even be able to see the entire thing properly, because something that massive, from the distance you'd need to be standing to take it all in, it would kind of have this haze over it. When there's an object that is so huge it stretches far up into the sky or space, it's so far off that when you step back and see the whole thing from kilometers away, there's kind of this haze over it. So often you wouldn't even be able to see Zunisha's face or the top, because they'd be shrouded in fog or shrouded in cloud, or just too immense, too far off to properly see. But imagine what this would look like on the ocean on a misty night coming towards you. No wonder that government agent a few chapters back was kind of freaking out. But I am getting off topic because I want to talk about more things that happened in the chapter, so let's go. So it turns out that Oden tore out the final pages of his journal, or as some people are pointing out, based on the flashback, it may have been Toki that did that. And because of this, neither Momo nor Yamato know what everybody was laughing at there on Laugh Tale on that day. They are out of the loop of this joke, so the joke's on them, and the joke's on us too. Speaking of jokes, Raizo versus Fukurokuju has ended. And they didn't really go out with a bang, as I was starting to hope, seeing as, their entire fight was, I think, longer than the Marineford arc. But Jinbei is there now, and that's good. Something important is still coming based on Raizo's words. He said something about the preparations nearly being complete. What is that all about? Did I miss something there? Have I forgotten something there? Or is this a brand spanking new development? A new cool fun subplot that's gonna ram its way into major plot? Anyway, for the main event of the chapter, so the title suggests, and I've got I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Yeah, that's it's Hiyori. She's on a t-shirt. This scene between Hiyori and Orochi was so satisfying. How long have we been waiting for her to own that bitch? Not nearly as long as what she has, so can you imagine how this would have felt for her? And we are ready for her to make good on that thing that she said a huge, large number of chapters ago to Zoro, in which it was implied that she was going to be the one to take Orochi down. We are here. We are going to see it. Do you want to be in the video? Yeah, do you? This bad girl can hit... This bad girl can fit so much piss in her. Yeah, okay, I don't know what you want to do. Okay. Anyway, I don't think we've ever seen Izo fight in proper, and that still kind of stands. His confrontation with CP0 here has been mostly off-screen, but we can tell that he is incredibly strong, undoubtedly so. What else would we expect from a former division commander of Whitebeards? Oda has only so much time to show only so many battles, but he is showing us what's important, and I guess what was really important of this Izo versus CP0 fight was what was shown, the opening, the closing, I guess, and then what is said afterwards. Anyway, back onto Izo. What does this mean for Izo? Is he going to pass away? Based on Oda's track record, I don't really trust him to really follow through with death setups, though he does sometimes. But I am kind of erring on the side of saying that Izo will survive, especially since he came in on that speech of Usopp's a couple of chapters ago. But also this being the largest scale conflict confrontation since Marineford, it kind of makes me think that, you know, we might end up having a few casualties. It would make sense if someone were to die in this kind of scenario, which sounds exactly like what the Gorosei said a couple of chapters back, which I will get to that. Had to kind of laugh though at this weak dialogue bubble, like, hurry, get Nico Robin.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
CP0 have kind of been through the wars at this point. Maybe Brook could take them. Remember chapters ago when we, being I and, you know, probably some of you all, really wanted Brook to take on the CP0 because it would make sense for multiple reasons. He's the only current member of the Straw Hats who has not taken on a current/former member of a Cypher Pole unit and whatnot. But anyway, regardless, I still feel as though Brook may play a role yet. I hope. But if he doesn't, maybe there'll be another point in the series where he does. But he has been a very strong support throughout this arc, but this chapter, he wasn't even in this chapter, so I'm not going to talk about him as much as I do love him, and you all know that. I don't even need to say it, but I will anyway. I love Brook. Also want to point out the CP0 member who got taken down was the one with the really inconvenient mask. And yeah, what's your face, buddy? Is his face gonna be important? The CP0 right now are just kind of sitting there, and yeah, we're feeling a bit sorry for ourselves out here now, aren't we, lads? But then something shocking happens that could change the course of the whole entire series. The Gorosei have ordered you are to eliminate Straw Hat Luffy immediately. Sure, let me intervene in this battle with Kaido, like literal Kaido, and, you know, just flick him out of there for you. That being said, this basically confirms my suspicions, and likely many of your suspicions from a few chapters ago, that Luffy was the subject of the discussion that the Gorosei were having about this particular fruit and about getting rid of a nuisance once and for all, which is incredibly interesting. Weekly reminder that at the end of last year, Oda did tell us, keep watching Luffy, and there's something big coming. I think we can all tell that much, and this definitely has something to do with what Oda said about Luffy at the end of last year. So now I really encourage you all to look back at that part a few chapters ago and reread it, recontextualize through the lens that this is almost 100% confirmed Luffy that they're talking about. It's time to act. It wouldn't be out of place for someone to die unexpectedly. This is our chance to erase that nuisance. And furthermore, that fruit is nothing but a legend now, even for us. It hasn't awakened for centuries. How else do you explain the world government giving a specific devil fruit a unique name? They were hiding the fruit's true name from the annals of history. Which, that is, wow. That is something that changes everything that we thought we know about the past 25 years of this series' history level of WoW. Some real serious endgame stuff is about to go down here. And even more indicative is when we consider Jinbei's fight against Who's Who and what was revealed during that fight, that there is more to Luffy's devil fruit than what we thought, that it had been on a world government ship under strict guard when Shanks and his crew came and nabbed it. And what this made me really think about as well, which I've also seen people on Twitter think about, is that elusively mysterious part during the Reverie arc where Shanks turns up to have a conference with the Gorosei to discuss a certain pirate. Signs are starting to point in the direction of this certain pirate being Luffy. I came here looking for answers, and all I'm getting is more questions. Now, this is potentially giving that evil Shanks theory some more credit, but either way, fact of the matter is, Shanks has always known the true nature of Luffy's fruit. So, yeah, that's a thing. Now, of course, there's also the possibility that whatever certain pirate Shanks wanted to discuss was not Luffy. Oda, after all, likes to sucker punch us with surprises, and it's possible that with Luffy's fruit now having more history to it, and the Gorosei wanting him immediately eliminated, it's quite easy to now set Luffy up as a red herring for whomever the subject of Shanks's discussion actually was. What are you guys' thoughts about who Shanks was talking about back there? Are we all kind of thinking it's Luffy now, or do we think maybe it was someone else? Do we have evidence of someone else? Is it Blackbeard? Is it Usopp? Please share your thoughts and reasonings. And what I'd like to say lastly on this particular scene is that Drake was there. As people have said, Drake may have some more fight left within him, he may be getting up to fight, but the important thing is that he has actually overheard what's been said here. So Drake knows that the Gorosei have it in for Luffy, which means that before too long, Sword are also going to know that the Gorosei have it in for Luffy. And if the theory in which Garp is a part of / founder of Sword proves correct, this could be quite interesting on that side of things. In true transitional chapter fashion, we are jumping here and there and all over the place. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got Usopp and his new giraffe friend rescuing Kinemon and Kiku. We've got Frankie rescuing Zoro, UFO catcher style, as we discussed the other week. You guys don't think that Zoro might actually be on the dead side? I mean, Frankie's dialogue here has got me guessing, and we're all waiting to hear more about what happened with the whole Grim Reaper event from a few chapters back. Furthermore, Marco saying that they can't drop their guards yet, and that Onigashima is still the most dangerous place on the planet at the moment, has me thinking once again that something more is on the way. We've got Raizo and his preparations, we've got the whole Gorosei and Luffy thing, and now we have Marco saying that this is still the most dangerous place on the planet. Don't let your guard down. So something is coming. The biggest sucker punch in the arc is yet to come. Meanwhile, Law and Kid are laying down there pretty wrecked. They're having a rest now, which is fair enough. They've earned it. Have a break, have a Kit Kat. And speaking of Yonko, Kaido, of course, has a pretty big reaction to Big Mom being taken down. He sensed that, he felt that. And now, of course, he turns a bit sentimental here. He thinks back to when they first met. And much like the entire fan base when King's beautiful face was revealed all those chapters ago, we've had a similar reaction from these panels of Big Mom. I mean,
hard eyes, motherfucker.
So here Kaido is just 15 years old. That is so young. That is pre-time skip Chopper. That is carrot age. That is a small age. And Big Mom is 24, so that's a 9-year age gap. For reference, that's the same age gap that Robin has with Zoro and Sanji. That's 9 years. 24-year-old Big Mom, she hits different. She's just so strong and dependable. She's gorgeous. She's confident. And she doesn't feel like a meme. If I were a 15-year-old entering this crew, I would be wanting to be taken under her wing. She seems really trustworthy, really warm even. You can talk to her about anything. And her dialogue, of course, is also very interesting, just saying, this is your first time teaming up with Rox. Like, first time kind of implies that some people have teamed up with Rox multiple times. Did people come and go from their crew routinely? What kind of arrangement do they have? And the fact that Big Mom refers to Rox, who at the time was her captain, as a good for nothing and not to trust him, makes it clear that the reason she was with Rox was because she was getting something advantageous out of it. Her ambition at this point is to rule the seas. I think it's really cool she didn't say Pirate King or Pirate Queen, as this kind of predates Roger being the Pirate King, so such a title didn't exist at this point, and that her teaming up with Rox was a necessary step towards that goal. And of course, the end of the chapter, we are ending on a high note here with Luffy going full on Gear 4. This really ballsy panel of him is I've seen that going around Twitter so much, for good reason. Look at his eyes. They are vacant, man. This is cold. So him being in Gear 4 in and of itself is very interesting, because you see, if Luffy doesn't defeat Kaido before Gear 4 runs out, it's over. Kaido's gonna win. Unless, of course, Luffy doesn't defeat Kaido during this Gear 4 and Gear 4 runs out, and then something else awakens within him. But for real, I reckon a Gear 5 or an awakening are definitely on the table, given the developments and the abilities that other people have showcased during this raid thus far. But regardless, Luffy's gonna be real wrecked real soon, so it's about time we turn this Kaido into a Kai-don't. That really didn't work. This was such a packed chapter. Let me know what you guys thought was the high point. Also, let me know who you think Shanks might have been talking about at that part back in Reverie. I'm Dawn of the World, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.